So something pretty big is happening in India. A major policy change is making some really critical medicines way more affordable. But, how does a line in some government budget document actually translate to a lower price when you go to the pharmacy? Well, that's what we're going to break down right here.
It all boils down to this one simple question, right? The question that's on the minds of so many patients and their families. Could the medicine we absolutely depend on actually get cheaper? I mean, that's a huge deal. And in this case, the answer is a big yes. Let's get into how.
And look, this isn't just some maybe or what if. It's happening right now. India's drug price regulator has officially put its foot down and ordered a price cut for some really specific and really critical medicines.
Okay, so here's the key takeaway. The group in charge, the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority, we'll just call them the NPPA, they've issued a direct order. It's not a friendly suggestion. They're telling drug manufacturers you have to cut your prices. It's a straight-up mandate, and it's all designed to make sure those savings end up in your pocket, not the company's.
But to really get why this is such a game changer, you have to understand the context. We need to talk about just how crushing the cost of these treatments can be. I mean, for a lot of people, the price tag has been a total wall, just an impossible barrier to getting the care they need.
And we're not talking about a small expense here. These are treatments that can be absolutely financially devastating. Things like drugs for rare diseases, really powerful cancer therapies like pembrolizumab, you might know it as Keytruda, and even specially designed medical foods. The costs are, frankly, astronomical.
So what kicked this whole thing off? What was the spark? Well, it all started with just a single line in the national budget, a really key government decision that got the ball rolling on this entire process.
This was announced back in the 2023-2024 union budget. The government basically said, you know what? We're getting rid of a specific tax on these imported medicines. It was a foundational move, a first step that went right for the source of the high cost, the price to bring them into the country.
So what exactly is this tax? It's called the Basic Customs Duty. The easiest way to think about it is like an entry fee that the government charges on pretty much anything imported into the country. So by getting rid of that fee, poof, the government instantly made it cheaper for companies to bring these essential medicines in.
Okay, but hold on. Just because it's cheaper for a company to import a drug doesn't automatically mean it's going to be cheaper for you and me, right? Companies could just pocket the difference. That's where the next absolutely crucial step comes in, making sure those savings actually get passed along.
And that enforcer? That's the NPPA we mentioned earlier, India's official drug price watchdog. I mean, their whole job is to keep an eye on medicine prices and make sure they stay fair and affordable. They're the ones who connect the dots between a government policy and the final price you see at the counter.
And you don't have to guess what their goal was. I mean, check this out. This is a direct quote from the NPPA's official memorandum. They're not messing around. It says they have to pass on the benefit of the duty exemption to the consumers. There's no wiggle room there. It's a crystal clear instruction.
So let's just walk through the chain of events here, from policy all the way to the patient. Step 1, the government gets rid of that import tax. Step 2, suddenly it costs the drug maker less to bring the medicine in. Step 3, the NPPA steps in and tells the company, okay, time to recalculate your price. And Step 4, the final step, a brand new, lower maximum retail price, the MRP, is set for patients. See, it's a really clear, logical path.
All right, so that's the how. Now let's get to the most important part, the so what. What does this actually mean for the real people who depend on these treatments every day?
It's actually pretty straightforward. Before this policy, the final price you paid, that MRP, had the import tax baked right into it. Now, that chunk of the price, the tax part, is just gone. The whole price has to be recalculated without it, and that means a direct, tangible cost reduction for the patient. It really is that simple.
When you zoom out, the goal of this whole thing, from that line in the budget all the way to the NPPA's order, is crystal clear. It's all about making these absolutely vital, life-saving treatments more affordable and easier to get for the people who need them the most. It's a direct move to lighten what can be a crushing healthcare burden.
And that kind of leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? This was a very targeted action for a specific list of drugs. So the big question now is, will this become the new playbook? Could this model of linking tax policy directly to price regulation set a precedent for other essential medicines down the road? I guess that's something we'll all have to wait and see.